The price up towards 70,000, I think, was telegraphing a lot of inflation to come, right? So Bitcoin markets are discounting mechanisms. And now that that inflation manifested and people are talking about it and it's front page news, you buy in the rumor, sell in the news, right? So you have a pullback now that you've got that the news happened. It was, leading up to that event that was not yet on people's radar. So now the pullback is back to this level and it's building a nice base. And before it makes that big assault to another price range.
Hello and welcome to Smart Tech Ideas. In today's video, Max Keiser, who is a popular Bitcoin maximalist and the host of Orange Pill podcast, addresses the issue of Bitcoin bear market, why Bitcoin has still not reached its full potential, and what makes him confident about the future of Bitcoin as compared to other altcoins. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video where Max Keiser makes a long-term price prediction for Bitcoin. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video.
This is, I think, one of the bigger drawdowns. We've had, I think, 85% drawdowns. We had from 30 back to $1, 1,200 back to 200, 20,000 down to 3,800. Now 70,000 down to 30,000. And at this particular juncture, on this particular one, I don't really think about it at all. Because, as Stacy points out, the main developing crew, the core developers of Bitcoin themselves were in revolt. And they were talking about hard forking and the big blockers, which wasn't resolved until 2017. But those types of issues were already being discussed, and those would be existential threats to the success of Bitcoin. So the downside was more palpable. The risk reward on Bitcoin right now is one of the most favorable ever. In terms, you don't really have that level of core contention that would be a risk vector. You just don't have it. So at the moment, it's become almost a mature asset class, if you can believe it. But I mean, it's getting closer to being certainly an established asset class, and you have an established group of people owning it. And I would say, this question comes up, and the answer is that if you're buying Bitcoin based on price, you're missing the big picture.
Cryptocurrency markets have crashed to a new low of this year today. The global market cap has shrunk to $1.02 trillion from $1.10 trillion recorded yesterday. The global cryptocurrency market cap has fallen by around $1 trillion this year, while almost every top coin is now worth half or even less than their all-time highs. The immediate trigger for the crypto crash appears to be a massive sell-off by investors amid heightened inflation fears. Investors are also continuing to stay away from riskier assets, which is reflecting in the stock markets as well. Bitcoin, the biggest and most popular cryptocurrency, has fallen to $25,586, while almost all altcoins, starting from Ethereum, are bleeding prices since weekend.
So let's play this out, Bitcoin. The first scenario you've got right now, Bitcoin's at 30,000. It's worth, $10, $20 million a coin at some point. So you got a lot of people that would complain about this, like the Christine Lagardes of the world or the Nouriel Roubinis. They go to the regulators or whomever, the press, they say, they complain, like, look, this asset, I'm going to complain about it. It's worth millions, but it's selling for 30,000, and they just complain and they talk about it. Then the second group you have, oh, it's at 30,000, it's worth millions. But they're not going to bother buying it at 30,000. That would be your Peter Schiffs of the world, who I told to buy Bitcoin when it was $1 and $5 and $10 and $50. But even though the case was clear that it's a new asset class and it could be worth millions, he didn't even want to put up $5. Then you have the third group, which is where we were, where it's like, you know what, this is a new asset class. It's going to be worth millions. I'll put, I'll buy it at $5. I'm happy with that at the risk reward there. And that's still true today. And at 30,000, it's still dirt cheap compared to where it's going. But you still have people who are going to complain about it, like Liz Warren or somebody that, oh my God, I just can't believe that this thing is out there. Or you have people that are just not going to spend the time to understand it. The Peter Schiff still doesn't own it. And then you have the folks that have put in a few hours of work and said, hey, this is worth millions of dollars. I'm going to buy it at 30. I'll buy it at 20. I'll buy it at 60. I'll buy it at 100,000. Doesn't make any difference. I understand the value proposition. I understand how it exists in the ecosystem of the world of fiat money, and I'm going to own it. So those are the three groups, and it's cheap at 30,000. It's cheap at 100,000.
Experts say that the crypto price plunge indicate a falling risk appetite of investors. They are clearly wary of risky assets. With all its uncertainties and volatilities, crypto is considered as one of the most volatile instruments for investment purpose. The crypto market has been under pressure from the Federal Reserve, hiking the interest rates to combat inflation over the past few months. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most cryptocurrencies suffered losses over the weekend after a broad sell-off following the data showing U.S. inflation hitting a 40-year high.
This price range and this era in Bitcoin I call the Michael Saylor era. So Michael Saylor came in roughly 2 years ago. He started buying it at 10,000. I think MicroStrategy started buying it at 20,000. They've got a cost basis of 30,700, and which is roughly this range, this price range, the Michael Saylor era, MicroStrategy era. And but I think we're coming to the end of that era, and we're going to enter a new era. You're going to have the CBDCs come along from the central banks. That'll be paired with maybe a sovereign wealth fund, $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund putting $100 billion into Bitcoin. Right, so that'll be a new era, and when that takes shape, the Bitcoin price can jump very quickly, very fast into the six-figure range.
While altcoins have historically underperformed Bitcoin, this time they have an added pressure of potential regulatory roadblocks. A report by CoinDesk quoted an expert as saying that only a small number of altcoins are likely to survive such market movements. The rising food, gas, and energy prices are putting tremendous pressure on the crypto market as Bitcoin and Ether have witnessed double-digit losses in the past 24 hours. The market is expected to remain choppy in the coming weeks, and countries around the globe continue to report high inflation numbers. The current dip in the crypto prices allows investors to buy crypto at 2021 prices, and we expect the seasoned investors to take advantage of the dip. Most investors worry that unless inflation numbers start dropping soon, the U.S. Fed may have to tighten reins by increasing interest rates at a faster pace than anticipated.
Bitcoin from 30,000 to 300,000 can happen pretty quickly. I think right now also another wave that we're seeing is the collapse of the third wave of major frauds in crypto with the VC money, the VC coins, the Web3 coins. This is the third major wave of fraud. It seems to be breaking up at this time with the Luna scam and the Solana scam, and all these. Ethereum is basically a scam. So all these scams are now kind of falling apart.
So, do you agree with Max Keiser that all other altcoins are a fraud? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.